Us tonight at 6, I'm Katie Koppel. Matt Breen and Jessica Bowman have the evening off. Abdir Marrero, a former Sioux City North cross-country coach and guidance counselor, was sentenced to 2 years probation today. Marrero was convicted of sexual exploitation by a school employee last August, and he was acquitted of a more serious felony offense. KTIV's Matt Hoffman was in the courtroom today when the sentencing was handed down, the judge telling Marrero he shouldn't be in a celebratory mood, even though he avoided prison time.
Marrero took the stand at his sentencing on Friday, arguing he's already lost a lot, including his job and guidance counselor license. He says he now works at a lawn care company, even though he has a master's degree. But County Attorney James Loomis argued Marrero thought his conduct was inappropriate, not criminal, and that he did not take responsibility for his actions.
All those girls came up and told the judge what they wanted to see and how they felt, how it impacted them. I think that all of that warranted a term of prison, but I understand that the judge's role is different than my role.
Prosecutors argued for a 2-year prison sentence. The judge did impose that sentence, but suspended it and instead ruled the defendant would serve 2 years on probation, followed by 10 years on parole. One witness said, quote, "No one deserves to feel uncomfortable about a coach." Another witness said she saw the defendant while the defendant was out on bail, and it caused an anxiety attack so difficult she didn't want to go out in public anymore. Victims weren't filmed because they objected to media coverage of their testimony, but Loomis says they feel disappointed Marrero wasn't sentenced to prison.
That they were disappointed. I think that they were very grateful for the fact that this defendant was found guilty by 12 jurors from Woodbury County that found him to be predatory, to be a predator, really.
Judge Roger Saylor rejected an attempt by the defendant to throw out the jury's verdict, and he said the defendant shouldn't be in a celebratory mood. The judge said even though the prosecutors didn't prove the felony offense, the jury found at least some of his touching was for the defendant's sexual arousal, justifying the aggravated misdemeanor conviction. He'll have to register as a sex offender, and the judge warned that if he didn't complete any part of his probation, the prison sentence could be imposed. In Sioux City, Matt Hoffman, KTIV News 4.
Now, Marrero and his defense attorney declined our request for an on-camera interview after the hearing. Well, police in North Sioux City are now investigating